Welcome, Swine Show team. This is your first video for your first showmanship check of the 2017 show season. If you've showed with me before, you have a general idea of how these work. About a week before showmanship checks, I will post a challenge up on my website or a showmanship check technique that you need to be able to perform with your hog on the day of our showmanship checks. Just like record books, showmanship checks are graded on a scale from 1 to 4. These kind of give me an idea that you've been working with your hog or you know the general information about your hog, and I can get an idea of who needs help or who's not doing their job or who's doing an awesome job. So our first showmanship check will be April 15th, and that's also our first weigh day. So I'm going to go through some logistics and show you what you are expected to do. So just a couple reminders. Weigh-ins begin at 6:30 a.m. for all exhibitors raising their hog at the school farm. You need to be on time. Remember, I travel an hour and I get there at 6:30, so please be on time as well and be helpful. It doesn't take 30 of us to weigh all the pigs, but the barn can be being cleaned, the fly tape being changed, the pens and the other hogs being fed. Please have something to do. I have lots of jobs as far as entering data, running the scale, running boards. If you're not sure what to do, ask somebody and we will point you in the right direction. Advanced showmen, this is your opportunity to teach our new members what they are supposed to do. So when you leave me in a couple years, I have a trained team ready to go. After we weigh all the hogs, showmanship checks will begin right after that. And we'll go through each individual pen and each individual member so that they have their opportunity to perform their showmanship check. Once we do all that, we'll load up the scale, and our scale squad will then travel to all the personal residences to weigh and also do the showmanship checks. It is important that the home residence people understand that you are performing the same showmanship check that everyone else does at the barn. Your course just might be a little bit different, so just be prepared to have something set up. Scale squad stops. There is a ton of them this year. We only had 5 last year, and now we have 16. This is the order in which we will travel to your houses, starting with Yaelene and Sandra and ending with Trinity. Please, please keep in mind, we will move as quick as possible to get to your residence as soon as we can, but lots of things are out of our control. We might have a sick pig. We might have to do some medicine. We might get stuck in traffic. We might get a flat tire, who knows? So please don't badger us with text messages. When are you going to get there? When are you going to get there? We will text you before we arrive, and you must be present that day. The scale squad, as well as myself, we basically scratch out our entire Saturday to make sure everybody gets weighed. So please make sure you do the same. We will get there as soon as we can, and like I said, text you beforehand. So these are the stops. Just kind of have that in your mind, and as we move through the season, we will get calibrated a little bit better, and you'll start to get a pretty good idea of when we're going to arrive. All right, so your first showmanship check. If you're at the school farm, what I'm looking for is you to walk your pig out of the pen that it's in, so either pen 2 through 5, walk it out of the little gate into the dirt area, walk them all the way to the main gate, turn them around, and bring them back to the other end. I'm not going to ask you to pin your pig. That's a little bit advanced, but I want you to get them back to the other side of the dirt. Keep in mind that when you're showing your pig, you need to keep your hog between yourself and the judge, which will be me in this case, at all times. So beware of your body language. And advanced students, this is your opportunity to show these novice students what we mean by these things. Using your show stick or your whip to make the completed or needed turns. And remember, when you're in the ring, I don't want to hear your show stick on your hog. I want it to be nice and silent. Once you are able to get your pig from one end to the other successfully, I'm going to ask you 2 to 3 questions about your hog, such as the weight of your pig. Average daily gain is by what is the average daily gain for a hog, so that's in your handbook. Expected fair weight, I mean, what is the minimum and maximum weight? You don't really know what your expected fair weight is for your pig at this time. If it's been given any medications, what it's eating, maybe the breed of your pig, the list can go on. Who is the breeder? So again, novice students, communicate with your advanced students so that they can help you with these questions. Also refer to your handbook for some of these more basic questions, like what is the average daily gain for your pig? What should they weigh at fair, etc. Home residence people, you're going to be doing basically the same thing in a little bit different of a setup. I'm going to ask you to walk your pig out of its pen Walk it in a straight-ish line. I understand that, our first showmanship check, maybe a super straight line isn't possible, but straight-ish line for about 25 feet. That's about the same distance the school farm kids have to walk their pig. Turn it around and walk it back the same direction. Keep your hog, like I said, between you and the judge at all times. I don't want to hear that show stick, and I'm going to ask you the same 2 to 3 questions about your hog. Please have your course set up before I arrive, or have some type of idea of where you're going to walk that pig. That kind of gives me that idea of what your score is going to be right off the top of my head. If I know you don't have a course set up for your showmanship check, kind of tells me that you didn't work with it. So these are your showmanship checks. Here's a cute little picture for you. The black line right here indicates the gate at the school farm or the gate at your home residence. Pretty simple. Walk your pigs in a straight-ish line for about 25 feet, turn him around, and walk him back the same direction. I'm not going to ask you to pin him or get him back in the pin. That's a little bit advanced for right now. And then those 2 to 3 questions. Please refer to Advanced Showman for help on this. I've seen some cones already set up at the school farm, which makes me super happy. And practice working with those hogs. YouTube has all kinds of videos for showmanship, and we've got some excellent showmen as part of our Las Salinas show team. If you've got any questions, let me know, and I hope to see some awesome showmanship checks on Saturday. Talk to you soon.